Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Today we are going to do a twin flame reading. The energies are a little dense. It's as if the tectonic plates beneath us are shifting. What does that mean? Our foundational, the thing that anchors us to the planet is shifting. And it can feel exhausting, draining. It can feel like frustrating that you're here again. It can feel like you're taking one step forward and 5 steps back. But I just want to soothe those anxieties a little bit. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Essentially, the lens in which you've looked at yourself, you've looked at the world around you, is shifting. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to say any more. Okay, let's do a twin flame reading. We're going to do feminines on the left, masculines on the right, and the union energies down the center. Let's do feminine spirit. Thank you for being with us. For feminines, thank you. Beautiful. Anything else for feminines? Thank you. Hold on. Any more? I feel like we had some flippers. This is right on part. We have contentment. Feminines are finding their true peace, their true desires. They're excavating their truth. I myself last month went through a 1-month-long excavation where any mask, if I had any mask or if I was masking any sort of truth, it came right up and looked me in the face. And I went through this process of dropping all these masks. Now, masks aren't always intentional. We're not, intentionally hiding from the world, but we might hide certain things, might hide certain desires. If you catch yourself moving through your life, feminines, and you catch yourself saying, I should do this, it's a huge red flag. Flag on the field, like pause everything and really peel back the layers of who's making you feel that way, right? Is it a partner? Is it family? Is it society? Is it your boss, a coworker? Is it a fear, an insecurity? Really pause, because we are eradicating all of these shoulds. And when we sort of clear the brush away of all the shoulds, we're able to see the horizon. We're able to see long distance. We're able to see our deepest, most authentic truth. We have contentment and we have friendship, feminines. This is a really beautiful thing. Very specific message coming through for the feminines that are actually single. There's like this deep peace coming in regarding who you are, the people you surround yourself. It's like feminine has been through the rigmarole of being in friendships, relationships of any kind with people, places, and things that do not serve their deepest peace. And so this radical dismantling, this discernment has been so beautiful for the feminine energies. It's like the people that have stayed through the storm, you're able to recognize those people as your true support, as your long-term, higher way of relating with those around you. Is there anything else about that, spirit? This is just an age thing too. When you get older, friendships aren't, they're a big deal, but they're not like the core social life as it is when you're in like your teens and 20s, right? It's a little different. You get to be more discerning when you're older. You understand the value of your energy and where you're spending it. So there's much more consciousness. There's much more intention in choosing your friends, choosing the people you want to be around, and most importantly, choosing the people you don't want to be around and drawing those appropriate boundaries so that you can actually invest your life force in things, people, places, and things that are sustainable, that will give back to you in some capacity. And I'm not saying that all friendships just have to give back to us. That's not what I'm saying. But energetically, we want to be around people where our energy flourishes, not as drained, right? Okay. And for masculine spirit, thank you for being with us. For masculines, what would you like to share? Okay. We have be spontaneous. That's surprising actually, because masculines have been kind of hermiting away a little bit. Anything else? What are they spontaneous about, or is there anything else you want to share? Thank you. Okay, I don't think it's an accident. We have re-energize and magic in reverse. I normally don't take reversals in this deck, but I'm just going to. In the unconscious position, we have truth. Okay, hold on. Big message. Let me just get comfortable. Masculines, you're being called to be spontaneous, going after things that re-energize you. I think masculines have been confronting a lot of their duties and responsibilities, and those things, while noble and beautiful, may have been incredibly draining to you right now. So it makes sense to me that you don't actually have enough gas in your magic tank to, step into something. Maybe you don't have enough energy to do that project, or to build that business, or to have that relationship that you've always wanted, or whatever it is. That's okay. Let's just honor where we're at. Remember, something you've been pushing into the shadow is your most authentic truth. So maybe you think you should be in a relationship because that's what people do at this point in life, at this stage in life. But if you don't want to be in a relationship, if you don't feel like you have enough gas in the tank to make the engine run, it's okay. Just enjoy being exactly where you are. Enjoy recovering. I find it interesting that on this Be Spontaneous card, this mermaid creature looks really relaxed. She doesn't really look like she's out there being spontaneous. She's holding her pearl and she's chilling. So I find that very interesting, that part of the message for you masculines is discernment. Maybe your whole life you've actually been outwardly spontaneous. Maybe you've always been, the man about town, or the energy about town, or always going to a party or a gathering or meeting people. I'm wondering for you masculines if this spontaneity is actually calling you to be spontaneous in the quantum realm, to sort of be bold and daring with how you use your energy, but sitting on your throne. What does that look like? Instead of being out there and socializing and, whether you're promoting yourself or just, out in the world nourishing your regular social life, whatever you have been doing has been draining you. And so you don't have enough energy to continue on the way you have been. Whatever you've been doing has not been sustainable. It's drained your power. It's drained your magic. Maybe it's drained your energy to dial into magic, right? This is a real thing. I've been a Reiki master for a very long time. And I noticed years ago that when I drank alcohol, I couldn't run Reiki, or I couldn't perceive it at least. And that was really a kind of harrowing moment for me. I was like, whoa, this is not okay. I don't want to numb this part of myself, because it's not just the Reiki, right? It's my perceptual system. So I don't want to numb my perceptual system, because that's where I get all of my intuition and discernment. So masculines, it might be time to cool it and to actually tell yourself the truth about the way you've been living. However this is for you, no one can tell you what this is. Only you will know what this is. But regardless, you haven't been telling yourself the truth. So something, it's not an accident. I was talking earlier about the last month I had where all of my masks were dropping. Every single one. There was no, I couldn't run from the truth. And that was such a gift, because it freed me up all this energy of all these places where I was pushing myself to do something that I wasn't a hell yes about. And, inadvertently I was crossing my own boundary, but I didn't know it because I I thought I was doing the right thing and I thought I should be doing this, right? And it's a form of people pleasing, even if people is like the dream that you thought you had for yourself, right? You could have a dream of 20 years, but you're not who you were 20 years ago. So that dream might no longer be a dream. And that's completely okay. I think one of the most valuable things, feminines and masculines, is to be able to adapt, right? The only thing we can all count on is change, right? There is going to be chaos. And so the greatest thing, the most sustainable thing we can do for ourselves on the spiritual path is get better at holding our center for love in any flavor of chaos, right? Like chaos is a given. So we might as well, instead of like chasing all these sort of half dreams or quarter dreams, why don't we chase sustainability? Why don't we chase being solid in ourselves? Why don't we chase peace? And that feels like an oxymoron, because actually when you sit back in the seat of your soul and you don't chase, that's usually when peace arises. So that's just funny that came out of my mouth. Okay, let's move on. Union energies, please. Union energy, spirit. What do we need to know about union energies? Thank you. Let's see what we got. Okay, we have support in reverse and we have memories. Can you say more, spirit? I'm getting messages, but they're already in conflict. Thank you. We have acceptance and healing in reverse. Okay, yeah. Ooh, I could feel the density of this message before it was coming through. Yeah, I'm going to say this gently and with a lot of love and empathy and compassion. Sorry, these cards are weirdly shiny and they stick, which annoys me on a visual sense. I'm going to say this with love and compassion. If you have been heartbroken, if this is about a person or a situation, it is no longer supportive for you to look back and rehash all of the old pain and memories. You know, I'm marveling at this synchronicity in my own life. I love therapy. I've been deep in the different branches of psychology for many, many years, and philosophy, and diving into, traversing the realms of consciousness. It's like my favorite thing. This is my jam. Okay. What's been coming up for me personally, and I'm realizing it makes sense that I went through this first and now it's coming up in the reading. There is a limit to how much you can work on a problem, right? There is a critical mass of healing and acceptance and, dissecting that you can do. There's a critical mass. And once that scale has tipped, you then start sinking into, okay, now this pattern is now draining my spirit. It's draining my life force. This isn't a new thought. Like Carolyn Mace has been saying this for years about, in her words, she says, don't speak woundology, meaning find someone you love, trust, and feel safe with, a friend, a therapist, someone. Talk about your pain and trauma like 5 or 6 times, and then make a commitment to yourself that you're no longer going to cycle through the trauma again and again. Because at some point, I understand if this feels a little harsh, but at some point, you have to love yourself enough to choose something better for yourself. And listen, I have PTSD, so I totally get it. Our nervous systems, we can say we're going to choose something else a million times, but sometimes the nervous system holds on to, the reactive energy. It has different imprints in it that we can't help all the time. But whatever this is for you, and it doesn't feel that deep of a trauma, it just feels like maybe it was a breakup, maybe it was like you got let go from a job. There's something here that's in the collective that we are rehashing. Very interesting. I just got another branch of this is Some of you, it's not a bad thing that you're rehashing. For some of you, you're like revisiting like nostalgic memories. And again, that's beautiful. If it fills your heart and, brings you a lot of joy, that's wonderful. But, too much of anything can be detrimental, right? If you are so deeply glorifying the past, we could unconsciously start vilifying the present and being fearful of the future, which makes a lot of sense to me with what's going on in the United States and the world. And, it's a really pressurized bubble right now. And so the most rebellious thing that you can do is choose love, is to come back into your heart space and have hope and have faith. I'm getting emotional talking about that because it's really hard to do. I think people think, people who are like all love and light are, airy fairy, light and fluffy, unicorn and roses individuals. But honestly, you have to be ruthless to choose love. You have to be so incredibly brutal, because the path of turning away from pain and choosing something better for yourself is so incredibly brutal. It will rip down so many parts of yourself. It will challenge so many parts of self. And so, this is for the collective. It's time to look inward to the present, right? I'm not even telling you to look forward. I'm telling you to look now. Look right now and accept that all of the wisdom, all of the healing, all of the support that you actually are craving will enter into you through the now, okay? It's time to get your energy, your attention, your awareness, your spirit in present time. Because honestly, that's the only real thing, right? Every moment becomes the past. The only real place we can, really engage with the game of life, with Earth School, is in the present moment. So the more we can practice that. Okay, so let's get really practical. What does that look like? That looks like meditation. That looks like doing things to just bring you back into the present moment. That looks like mindfulness. When you're sipping a cup of tea, be so radically in love with this cup of tea. Smell it, feel this heat, the steam, or the whatever steam coming off of the cup. Taste the different dimensions of the tea. Like, radically be present. And this isn't just about the freaking tea. This is about practicing, right? When you want to build muscles, you can't go to the gym once and be like, okay, I got muscles, I'm done. That's not how it works. So mindfulness is a practice. It's a lifestyle. And if you get overwhelmed by like meditation or any sort of more traditional practice, just bring your attention back to your breath. That's it. You can bring your awareness to the air at the tip of your nose. How does that feel? Is it warm? Is it cold? What does it feel when the air enters your body? What does the air feel like as it exits your body? This doesn't have to be complicated. I should have looked earlier. I just looked. So for the collective consciousness, this is what we are shoving into the unconscious. We're not letting go of something. We're keeping ourselves attached to a person, a place, a thing, a memory, an idea, a concept, a belief of self. It's time to let it all go. We are peeling back these profound layers that no longer serve what we're here to do. Whatever these layers are, they do not serve the present moment. I'm very drawn to all the seaweed in this card. It's almost like a cage, right? And so all of this, all of our memories, all of our pain, all of our anything that has happened before this moment is somehow keeping us imprisoned in some capacity. I'm not saying to like burn all your memories down to the ground and never think about them ever again. But there, again, like I said, there's a critical mass of detriment, meaning they can only bring you so much joy, and then they start to bring you potentially sadness, right? Like if we are yearning for the past, if we're yearning for something, right? We go from nostalgic reminiscing to like grief that we're no longer in that place. I get hit with a lot of grief when I think about my father and my grandmother. I'm probably going to cry as I say it, but they'll always bring me to tears because they just symbolize like a different time in my family. And like, it's hard. It's hard. Grief is one of those things that will rise up like the sea, and it can be soft and beautiful, or it can be like an angry tsunami and it just crashes over you. It's really intense. And so do your best, right? That's all we can do. We fall down and get back up. That's it. It's just a practice. Okay. I'm actually going to leave this here because it feels really valuable. Is there anything else for the collective you want to share with us? I'm going to get a new deck. Hold on a second. I need some practical wisdom. You know what? I'm going to be a little nosy. I want to know what we're attached to. Listen, when you do a collective reading, it's like, it's such a wide net, right? We're casting such a wide net. But I am curious to see if anything comes up. Spirit, what are we collectively attached to? Is there something you want to hone in on? Whoa, we got domestic harmony. I don't know what to make of that. And then we have music, which is a frequency card. Say more, please. Thank you. Patience, another second chakra, manifestation in reverse. Thank you. Tell the whole story. I'm here for it. What's the rest of the story? Thank you. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Let's get it all out. Okay, that's it. In the unconscious. Oh my God. This is a lot. Hold on. This is a lot, but we're going to do it. This was sideways. These are in reverse. Wow. There's a lot of lower chakra card here. Try to put this in a way where we could get it all. It's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot. Okay, just to remind everybody, I asked the question, what do we as a collective need to let go of? And it said domestic harmony. What was in the unconscious position is this love partnership. Hold on, let me put these puzzle pieces together. Mind you, it's communication. I'm not fully getting it. Spirit, can you give me another thread, please? So let me just think out loud so you're all with me. There's so many, it's taking me down so many, I feel like I'm in like a maze. And there's a lot of different angles of this. So something that we're afraid to look at or ashamed to look at or hasn't come fully into our consciousness is a harmonious way to be in love partnerships. So as a collective, what this is telling me, what Spirit is moving through me right now, is the way we do relationships is no longer, or the way we did relationships is no longer sustainable. If you've been watching me, you've heard me say a million times that most of us light workers are holding a frequency of a planet that doesn't exist yet. I mean, it exists in the sense that it exists within our hearts and our minds and our bodies, and we are these little supercharged energetic workers on the grid of unconditional love and infinite oneness. Like, we're always, working towards that. However, it's really brutal to hold a frequency of something that doesn't exist yet. You are the outcast, you are unconventional, fill in the blank of criticism, judgment, blah, blah, blah. It's very hard to sustain that energy. So something about the way we come into relationship with partner, there's something, sorry, I'm just really drawn to the 8 here. I'm like, it's the infinity symbol. Do you hear me trying to talk? I'm getting a million messages all at once. Quiet down, Spirit. Let's organize this together in a calm fashion. Something that is meant to be infinite is not sustainable should we continue to go on in this way, attaching in the ways that we have attached to what we believe as domestic harmony. I mean, shoot, I don't know what this is. I'm going to keep going because the very shallow message, if we're just going to skim the top, domestic harmony, you think like intimate relationships, right? But I don't think that's what we're talking about. Let's move on. Okay, we need to let go of manifesting things that are not built upon our own self-love. If we try to manifest while abandoning self and betraying our deepest soul's alignment, we will not step into our own personal growth. It will be halted. If we do not have a consensual, aligned relationship with Source, whatever that means to you, it could be the God within yourself, it could be your pineal gland, it could be the universe, the energetic field, whatever that means to you. If we try to enter into a relationship with Source while leaving ourselves behind, we will not grow. Something in us will not be built on a stable foundation. The manifestations will not come through, or what will come through is something that is out of alignment, right? We are being called to a more pristine existence. We are being called to take radical accountability for our own authentic truth and being able to own that truth in the face of all of the shoulds, right? Remember, I started the reading talking about the shoulds. If you ever catch yourself saying, I should go for that, whatever meal with a friend, I should, whatever, I'm not saying it's always wrong. I'm saying pause and reflect who and where are you giving your power away to, right? If you say, I should be a lawyer, okay, why are you saying that? Well, my parents are lawyers and they always wanted me to be a lawyer. Okay, you're giving your power and sovereignty and free will away to your parents. I'm not saying it's always a bad thing. I'm just saying you are now being called to do the work of tracking where your authentic compass is attuned to or calibrated to, right? If your compass is calibrated to you and your own soul, great. That's the dream. You don't have more work to do. You're good to go. Go live your life. Go after your goals. Build your relationships. Build your mission and purpose. Beautiful. However, most of us, and I'm going to say like 95% of us, our compass has been calibrated by unjust systems that have been put in place to benefit a very specific few. Now take that as you will. This isn't like, I'm not here to be on a political soapbox or anything like that. I'm here to call you back to your hearts. I'm here to call you back to your own free will, to your own self-esteem, to your own self-love. Because when we have self-love, we can access and trust our intuition. When we trust our intuition, we can deploy discernment. This is everything. This is everything. This is the name of the game. Having self-esteem will help you step into leadership over self and then eventually leadership over your mission and purpose. Some of you, most of you who are listening to me are meant to be teachers and help others learn, right? That's the whole point of being here in Earth School. We come here to help ourselves and then help others. We learn how to do something, we master it, we then teach others. We are here to connect and reach out. Excuse me. Sorry, I just got like another wave of emotion. All right, Spirit, can you say more about this? I'm very drawn to this health card. It's also the one message I haven't leaned into. Okay, very obvious. We're redefining, coming into Thank you, Spirit. I wasn't understanding. Okay, this 46 reduces to a 10, which is my number of endings and beginnings, right? You have the 0, which is like closing the loop, and 1 is like step 1. Okay, we're beginning something new again. Domestic harmony means harmony on our domestic land. What is the most domestic land that we all have? Our bodies, right? We are being called to step into divine stewardship over this plot of land. Our bodies are our plot of the infinite. It's our vessel that encapsulates encapsulates the infinite, and we are being called to, I don't want to just say be healthy. That's such a broad whatever kind of word. We are being called to be in alignment with in our own physical vessels. That's going to look different for all of us, but it makes sense to me that as sovereignty and consciousness rises on the planet, so too does our intuition, our listening, our micro listening with our bodies, so that it's not enough to just eat the vegetable. Now we want to eat vegetables that are not sprayed with crazy pesticides and that, whatever, that are actually nourishing. We're no longer being fooled by the appearance of something or by, being sold something. We go back to the drawing board of our bodies and ask our divine intelligent vessels, does this feel good for me when I consume it? And you can even fool around with this and do some muscle testing where you hold a banana in the store in your hand and try to do, there's so many ways to do muscle testing. I'll let you Google what that is and how you could do it. There's some really simple ways. There's some ways if you have a friend, it's easier, like when you put your arms out and you hold a banana in one hand and they try to push your arm down. If you can't push your arm down and you stay strong, it's okay to consume. If they could push your arm down, it's out of alignment with your system. I know that sounds a little crazy and kooky and woo-woo, whatever. It freaking works. I learned it actually in my clinical nutrition degree. They used to do this with babies when new mothers would come in with like colicky babies or babies that were crying. And they, there's not a modern test to test babies for 1 million allergies. So what they would do is they would put something in the mother's mouth and then do the muscle testing, because the mother and newborn were so attached through just the divine intelligence, and breastfeeding and all the incredible connection between mother and child. They were able to determine, okay, if you could push the mother's arm down while she had peanuts in her mouth, then the peanuts were not good for the baby. And this was a really, it's so magical, right? And so I think what's also rising on the planet are these sort of practices that are in alignment with the divine intelligence of our body. It's very cool. I'm seeing a lot more conventional doctors mention divine intelligence, and I sort of I kind of have this little giggle to myself of yes, finally, we're working with the body, not against it. We're listening to the body instead of, shoving what someone learned in a textbook over many years. I think women know this more than anything. In my earlier days, I was an activist for maternal health care, and going down that rabbit hole, oh my God, it's a little insane. But there was incredible indigenous and old school midwifery practices that over years and years and over production of new editions of medical textbooks was just removed. And it's like, well, hey now, what the heck? Women's bodies have not changed in that sort of big enough a way. We're still having babies. The mechanism and how we have babies is the same. So why are you getting rid of all of this profound wisdom? And so, well, what does medicine always do? They strip down to, how can we streamline the process of birth? How can we I hate to say this, but make the most money. Like, how can we, whatever. And that's why C-sections are on the rise. Don't even get me started. I spent years in my master's doing this work. I can go on and on. It's too much. It's like so frustrating and you can't believe it's going on. Whatever, moving on. I'll get off my soapbox. Again, we are being called to come into, okay, let me say it exactly how we did the reading. We need to let go of the relationship we had with our bodies so that the new divine relationship, awareness, authentic, conscious relationship we are meant to have with our bodies can come in. Beautiful. This is one of my favorite readings. It's been clear. It's been direct. We have a path forward. Let's get some, no, that's not what I want. Where's my Divine Beloved cards? Bear with me, I just gotta shuffle quick. All right, Spirit, anything else before we close? Okay, hold on. Spirit's getting loud. Do I take all these? I'll take these. They came out first. We have honoring. I am kind and loving. Change me, Divine Beloved, into one who honors my emotions. Let me feel my feelings without judgment and then release them. Show me how to be kind and loving to the child inside who needs care. We have generosity. I am abundant love. Change me, Divine Beloved, into one who can easily send blessings to all, even those filled with negativity or fear. May I shower the planet with love, knowing there is an unlimited ocean within me. And then finally, decisions. Perfect actions are shown. Change me, Divine Beloved, into one who can offer all decisions to you. May I trust during times of transition that the perfect actions will be shown. Grant me patience to allow events to line up as they need to. It's my second nod to patience in this reading. Anything else, Spirit? Something that's in the unconscious position is we have longing. I offer my deepest desires. Change me, Divine Beloved, into one who offers you my deepest longings, trusting you know exactly how to handle them. Let me know my wholeness and freedom most of all. This is a beautiful way to bookend this reading. I mentioned earlier that if we are dwelling in the past, if we are so caught up in memories that it kicks us into yearning and longing, we are now using our precious present moment for grief without purpose. Anything else about that, Spirit? If you catch yourself in longing, write it down. This is so weirdly specific. Write it down to get it out of your body. If you catch yourself grieving, write your beloved who is no longer with us a love letter. Put all of that love somewhere. Get it out of your body. Vibrate this emotional density. Okay, I'm just going to get one wizard card. These are my favorite cards. We have rescued reflections, divination, intuition, inner vision. Thank you, Spirit. This is like the holy trinity of moving through the world as a sovereign being, is that we have to love ourselves enough so that we can build our self-esteem, so that we can access our intuition and discernment. Trust that your inner vision, what did I say earlier? That the lens in which we look through the world is shifting. It makes sense that your inner vision is literally the vision that you perceive the world around you is shifting. So get ready, because you're going to receive a whole new, everything's going to look, feel, taste different. And you have all of the tools within you to take another step forward without betraying or abandoning your truth. I'm just going to end on a Divine Feminine Buddha card. I'm just feeling like it right now. We have, As you perceive birth as coming and death as going, you are bound by mental obstacles. Such a great message, meaning we are being called to step off the ride. What if we did not subscribe to the stories of birth and death? What would it look like to just honor that we are souls, we are infinite souls? We have gone on before this body and we will go on after this body. What would it be like to live in that, to occupy the present moment without those constraints? I'm going to leave you to feel into that for your own self and your own life. This is my favorite reading. I am so filled and I am so grateful that you're all here with me. Please like, share, subscribe. It really helps me. And I hope this was supportive. I will see you in the next one.